and you watch him in person or on tape, especially in person, like the thing that's most impressive about him, he's got real talent and skill.
All right, we're going to actually start this video differently. Like it, comment, subscribe. All right, if you've heard me from the beginning, now you know what to do. It's TexAgs Rewind. We are here with Ethan Jones and Eric Casares, and Ethan always gives us like a stat to think about. Offensively, an A&M baseball team providing some fun for all of us, but you found something deep in that.
Yeah, this is a really big stat. The offense explosion has been great. They have a batting average of 305, third in the SEC. They're also third in the SEC in home runs with 57. Also, once again, third in the SEC in RBIs with 248. Just one of the best offensive teams in the SEC. And we're not even talking about their pitching. Their pitching's been great too. Just such a great team so far.
Very good team. Casares, what was your favorite part of the show today?
Favorite part of the show is when John Harris came in and talked football. I love hearing what he has to say. And of course, we missed him right before Stephon Diggs got traded.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs traded to the Texans. That made news here.
Let's go.
But let's be honest. The big news of the day, Landon Rink committing to Texas A&M. So we had Billy on the show. We had Bronny on the show. We kind of broke it all down. But beyond that, baseball, obviously a big topic. Kendall Rogers joined the program. And former 12th man Ryan Brauninger here on TexAgs. We talked to Ryan about all good things happening in his life. He's got a camp coming up. We talked about Elko. We talked about his journey to A&M. That and more. It's the Rewind. Check it.
We got an opportunity to walk on as a preferred walk on, and man, it was a challenge because I remember that first summer I came, the whole team, and this was like with Reggie McNeil and Appel and all those guys, and I'm running that walk-ons, the freshman walk-ons were running the opposite way from the rest of the team for some sort of compliance rule. So everybody's running like north, and it's like 8 of us running south for like 100 yards.
Well, that doesn't sound like an NCAA thing, right?
Right, of course it does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just thank God that he took me a very long way, because to be able to do that, and then with the new coach, with the coaching change with Mike Sherman, he saw me in a different light, and I was able to be the 12th man my senior year, able to earn a scholarship. My senior year, I actually won the highest award you can win, called the Aggie Heart Award.
Yep.
And man, I just thank God that he allowed me to go through that journey, because I was able to learn so much about people, you know, and how to overcome adversity. And I tell people, you know, I tell our kids at Rudder, kids I train, you know, it's not about how you start, but it's how you finish. And if you are an underdog, it's actually a blessing, because you're able to develop a chip on your shoulder. You develop a callus that that'll help you be successful in the rest of your life. If you're given too much stuff, I mean, sometimes it'll mess up how you process, how you work hard. So it's a blessing, man. So I thank God for that.
Sounds like you listen to David Goggins with callousing your mind out there. I like that. And I got to say this, OB, typically, I'm the one wearing a schmedium in the studio, but Ryan O'Brien has not missed a bicep day since 1986.
No, doesn't look like he came out of the womb pumping iron.
Like, when's the last time you missed bicep day? Do you do it on the daily?
Well, you know what? I try to make sure I stay ready. You know, so you got to stay ready, so you don't got to get ready. So
when you think about Layden and his potential future in the NFL, tell me some things that pop out.
It's interesting, you know, talking with Luch, with Billy. You know, Billy, I always go up for pro day. I always love going up there. It's always a fun drive for me, and so I love getting up there. And you know, so I made my way over to Billy, and you know, obviously it was the you know, it was after the SEC basketball tournament, I believe it was. And so we talked about, you know, Aggie basketball and what they were doing. And I'm sorry for the door slam there. And so we were talking about that. And then, you know, right as we were kind of finishing that discussion, Layden was doing his workout like right underneath us. We were up on that catwalk, which, by the way, that indoor facility is unbelievable. For Aggies who haven't seen it yet, oh my God, that place is incredible. And what they're building, jeez. So I'm watching, and so Layden Robinson, like length, you know, that stands out. Just body composition, and you feel like you're looking at a pretty good athlete. And I asked him, I said, Billy's he lost a little bit of weight? And he goes, yeah, I think he has. So he's kind of slimmed down a little bit. Now, that doesn't put him in a tackle conversation, but I think what it did was it allowed him to show his movement skills. I think his movement skills are really, really good. And then Billy said something I thought was interesting. He goes, he's got to get better coach than he was here the last couple of years. And I said, okay. And I did the math on it. It's like he had a different O-line coach in 2021 than he had in 22 and 23, right? Is that right, Billy? He goes, yeah. And I was like, man, it makes sense. It's like sometimes you got to put the puzzle pieces together, because I thought in 2021, I thought I was watching a top 50 player in the NFL draft. Point blank in the story. I thought I was watching that player. In 2022, 2023, I didn't see that. I thought I was watching a day 3 guy. Even at the Senior Bowl, I'm kind of watching. There were decent moments, but I really thought there was a lot more there. And then Billy said that, and it kind of clicked for me. Like, hey, wait a second. Okay, coaching matters. It matters a lot. And so it got me thinking about, man, he's got all the physical tools.
And you watch him in person or on tape, especially in person. Like, the thing that's most impressive about him, he's got real talent and skill. Like, no question, he plays with outstanding technique and leverage. There's not many high school interior defensive line prospects that I've watched that have as good of a feel for technique, leverage, like all those things that really matter whenever you're going up against SEC caliber offensive linemen. He already understands that. So he's going to come in way ahead of the game. That probably has to do with him playing, like his dad being his defensive line coach and defensive coordinator there at Cy-Fair. So like he's grown up with an understanding of how to play the position. And he's just so far advanced in those. You just don't see that. Like a lot of high school defensive linemen, they just overwhelm people because they're bigger and stronger. And you're going, okay, like where can we see this going down the road? If he's big and long arms and big hands and he's light on his feet, or he's got some good pass rush moves, that's usually what we're talking about with high school defensive linemen. For Rink, you see all that, but you also see it with proper technique, and he just gets underneath opposing offensive linemen. So that there is typically a learning curve for defensive linemen when they come in to have to learn how to do that. He's going to come in with that skill set already. But even saying that, like, it kind of undersells his explosiveness and then just how stinking hard he plays. And I was covering the game. They lost to North Shore. They upset Katy last year in the playoffs, and then their next round, your reward for upsetting Katy is that you got to go to NRG and play North Shore. Right. And North Shore ended up pulling away from that game. And if you're watching with us, some of these clips are from those Katy and North Shore games. So he's doing it against the best talent in the city of Houston. But watching him against North Shore and just leveraging guys and recreating the line of scrimmage in the offensive backfield, but just how hard he was playing.
We'll start off with last night and work our way back. Your thoughts on what you saw from, I guess, Braden Montgomery over the entire half season, but especially this last week?
Yeah, I think I'm going to run out of good things to say about him. I'll tell you what, in college baseball, you see guys locked in and then you see guys locked in like that. I think he's one of those guys, man, that like you can just see it in his body language. You can see it in his approach at the plate. You can see it in just the way, just the violent nature of the way he's hitting the baseball. Man, he is just 100% locked in. And, what's really cool about him is, I asked him about this a couple weeks ago, about when he gets in the box, like, does he kind of sense the buzz that's in the crowd? And, it's kind of funny. I felt like for a split second he's going to try to say no. Then he kind of smiled and said, no, yeah, actually I do notice it. It's really cool. But then I kind of realized, like, hey, I got a job to do here. So, I think he's one of those guys, man, like, he's really smart. He's got a great approach. And, like, he just truly is one of those players that lives in the moment. But other than Charlie Condon in Georgia, and maybe James said to Florida State, man, there is not a guy that is hitting the ball with such authority as he is right now. And that's been big because, Jace, he'll be fine. But, like, he hasn't been quite as productive as he was early in the year. So Braden being what he is right now has really helped A&M, to say the least.
Talking to Kendall Rogers here from D1 Baseball and TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. So the victory at Texas State. Look, I know midweek games, it kind of depends on the philosophy. I know Schloss wants to win them all. But that's a big win, especially by the score amount, the deficit that Texas State had to play against, right? They were down big time most of that game, all game long, I should say, especially from the first inning on. But just talking about the significance of those midweek games that do matter, how A&M's taking care of business.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was an impressive win because I think Texas State is a dangerous team who obviously they didn't play very well against Louisiana last weekend. So I think they wanted to probably go into last night to make a statement and kind of show, hey, we're not dead yet. And A&M just didn't give them any air to come out of the water with. So
Ethan, I told the people what to do initially. Do we need to remind them what to do at the end of the video?
I feel like we do.
Just tell them.
It's like 10 minutes, and they're going to forget by then.
Yeah,
Our
you
attention
forgot.
spans these days, terrible.
So tell them.
So like, subscribe, share, tell everyone. What else? Anything else we need to do?
Comment.
Yeah, thank you.
Can't forget
Comment.
to
Yeah,
comment.
that's my bad.
Yeah.
Comment.
Gosh, come on. Comment right
See,
now.
I forget too because my attention span's short too.
What was your favorite stat that Ethan said? Comment below. How about that for those who watch the entire video? You talking over me?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm David Nuno. We'll see you next time.